Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something we all think about, human connection. We're going to break down the art of turning strangers into friends with a simple step-by-step guide. So, let's get right into it.
It really all boils down to this one big question, doesn't it? We're surrounded by people, but how do we actually build those genuine, meaningful relationships? Well, that's the puzzle we're going to piece together today.
Okay, so first things first, we have to learn the basic rules of the road. And a great way to think about social cues is to see them as the grammar of how we interact. I mean, you wouldn't try to write a story without knowing what a sentence is, right? It's the same thing here. You can't build a connection without understanding these fundamental social rules.
Every single connection we make starts with that first impression. And those first few seconds, they're absolutely critical. Making eye contact, for example, isn't just about being polite. It's a signal. It says, I see you, I'm engaged. And a firm handshake, that communicates confidence and respect. These are your opening lines, and they set a positive tone before you even say a word.
Now, let's talk about personal space. This is a huge, unspoken part of any interaction. It's really all about making the other person feel safe and comfortable. The arm's length rule is such a simple but powerful guideline. Get too close and it can feel kind of intrusive. It breaks that trust. But stand too far and you can seem distant and disengaged. Finding that physical sweet spot is just essential for creating emotional comfort.
And beyond that initial greeting, our connection is really built on all these small, consistent gestures of respect. And look, these aren't just some old-fashioned, stuffy rules. They are active, real-time signals that show you see the other person and you value their time and their feelings. Every thank you, every time you hold a door, it reinforces that you're a safe and respectful person to connect with.
Some of these signals are super specific to the situation you're in. For instance, in a lot of places, tipping at a restaurant isn't just about the money. It's part of the social grammar. A 15 to 20% tip is like a clear cultural shorthand. It says, hey, I see you, and I appreciate the service you provide.
So, if social cues are the grammar that gives our interaction structure, what do we actually talk about? Well, for that, we need vocabulary. And hobbies, personal interests, those are the words we use to build the story of our connection and find that all-important common ground. Just listen to what Mike says here about skateboarding. He's not just talking about the activity itself. He's sharing a need to get outside, to relax. When someone tells you the why behind their hobby, they're basically offering you a little piece of their inner world. And that is the real entry point for a meaningful conversation.
And here's the really good news. The potential for connection is just enormous. People's interests are incredibly diverse. I mean, look at this. It's everything from active sports and creative projects to quieter, more relaxing hobbies. This sheer variety means the odds of you finding some shared ground with someone are always in your favor.
The key thing to realize is that our hobbies are often a direct reflection of our personality and our needs. Whether you're someone who recharges through physical activity or through quiet focus, your interests are a form of self-expression. So sharing them isn't just small talk, it's a way of genuinely introducing yourself to someone new.
So let's be super clear about this. Hobbies are not just things to pass the time. They are engines for personal growth and for connection. They pull you out of your daily routine, they give you a healthy outlet to de-stress, and they put you in the same room with like-minded people. They're a workout for your brain and a huge source of confidence and joy, which of course makes you a more well-rounded and interesting person to know.
Okay, so we've talked about the grammar of social cues and the vocabulary of hobbies. Now, let's put it all together into a practical toolkit that you can start using right away.
This right here. This is the core formula. True connection is what happens when you combine the how with the what. First, you use that polite social grammar to make a comfortable, respectful space. Then, you use the vocabulary of your shared interests to actually build the substance of the relationship. You see, one without the other is just incomplete. It won't work.
So here it is, your toolkit in action. You start by mastering the art of making other people feel welcome. With your eyes, with your handshake, with your respect for their space. Then be brave enough to share what you're passionate about. And just as important, be curious enough to ask about their passions. And that last part, asking and listening, that's where the real magic happens.
So, you now have the toolkit. You have what you need to build those bridges from strangers to friends.
The only question left is the one that only you can answer. What common ground will you explore next? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.